Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is different to anything I've done before because it's not just a usual collaboration. It is a four-way collaboration with three of my favorite readers. So this collaboration is with Celtic Fairy Tarot, Odessa, Mal and Tarot with Tay. Before I begin, I just want to say thank you to you girlies for doing this collaboration with me. I really appreciate you guys. I'm really excited to bring the messages through. So what we're doing is messages from the four directions, and because there's four of us, we've all been given a direction and an element, and we are going to be bringing messages from that direction and element. So in my reading today, I'm going to be bringing messages from the air element, which is the east direction. Odessa is going to be doing the north direction, which is earth. Tay is going to be doing the south direction, which is fire, and then Alexia on Celtic Fairy Tarot is going to be doing the water element, which is the west direction. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to have the links to everybody's channels in my description box. Whether you want to watch all four or you just have certain elements in mind, you guys can head to the description box and see everyone's video linked and their channels there. But here we're going to be bringing messages from the air element in the east direction. So I have four cards for you guys to choose from. Pile number one is the Birds card, which says freedom. Pile number two, we have the Medicine Shield, which is protection. Pile number three, we have the Shaman, which is completion. And pile number four, we have the Cave, which is retreat. So see which card you are drawn to. The timestamps for each pile is going to be in the description box, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. So today we are taking a look at what guidance messages the east direction has for you and the air element has for you. So you guys, funnily enough, were bringing air messages and you guys chose the bird cards. That's quite interesting. Now, when I was looking at this particular card, I kept hearing bigger, and I didn't know what that meant, but then I almost felt like I was forming into a bird, and it was like, okay, this is what I was being shown. So imagine yourself as a bird and you're hungry, right? And you can see a cupcake on a stand and you're like, right, that cupcake looks good. I want to get that cupcake. But the more you're flying higher and you go upwards, you can see higher. So now you're seeing beyond that cupcake and you're seeing a big pie, a big cherry pie, right? I just shared custard, so maybe some of you guys like custard pies. I don't think I've ever tried one, but there we go. So you're seeing that and you're like, oh, do you know what? I don't want this little muffin anymore. Yeah, it could have satisfied me in the moment, but it was only little and I could have had more. So then you start flying higher to go over to the pie, but because you're flying higher again, you can see past the pie and now you're seeing a table. And this table doesn't just have lots of food on it. It has food for the month. It has healthy foods so that you can, you know, really get some energy in you. It has, you know, some sweet foods to, you know, cave your, you know, that sugar craving. It has all the foods that'll keep you warm, all the carbs. And you're like, actually, I want that over there. But because you are on the ground, you didn't see that first, so you would have gone straight for that little muffin. And that's the message that I'm getting with this card. There's something in your life, and I'm not saying there's something that you want and you're not going to get. You're going to get it, but there's something that you're walking towards and Spirit's like, yes, you're going to get it, but that's not it. You're just going to pick that up and pop it on your pocket when you walk past. You're actually going for something else. You're actually going for something after it, because I feel like there's something you wanted to manifest in or bring in, and Spirit's like, yes, it's going to make you happy, but it's only going to make you happy for a small period of time. There's your spirit guides around you in the universe coming through, and it's like, you deserve the best. You deserve bigger than what your eyes may see right now. And you're actually in this lifetime aligned with something a lot bigger than what you are looking at right now. And Spirit's calling you to fly higher, to really see from a bird's eye view, because there's something that either isn't satisfying you or is looking quite shiny right now, or you may even be feeling restricted, like where you're trying to step towards, there's doors slamming in your face. And Spirit's calling you to fly higher and think bigger, because there's more for you that's going to make you a lot happier. It's like you're looking at the strawberry on the end of the tree, and Spirit's like, why take the strawberry when what's rightfully yours is the tree? I hope that's making sense. And then you can have unlimited strawberries forever. So there's something about that coming through. Now I'm going to pull more cards, but that is a message that's coming through straight away. There's just this message of bigger, more. You deserve bigger than that. Let's get bigger than that. Let's go harder than that. You know what I mean? Let's climb higher than that. Because when you get to the top of that mountain, you're going to see a lot more options. There's something about don't settle coming through here as a message from the air element. So we have masculine energy. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Messages from the east direction. Messages from the air element. Oh, we have self-care. Messages from the east. Messages from the air element. Messages from the east. Oh, hang on. Your card's on the floor. We have earth. Messages from the east. We have focus. Messages from the east. One more card, please, spirit guides. Messages from the east. We have action. Okay. So again, they keep showing me this analogy of there's a castle in at the top of a mountain, and you want to reach that top of the mountain. We've got Venus at the back of the deck, by the way. Feminine energy at the back of the deck. So you guys are wanting to step towards this castle because it's a very beautiful castle. And there's a bunch of pathways to get there. There's about 15 pathways in front of you. And you have this big rucksack on, which is all your past stuff on you. And you're like, right, I want to get up there. And then all of a sudden, when you say to spirit, okay, I want to reach this castle, certain pathways start closing off. And then it almost looks like you're not going to be able to get there. But the reason these pathways are closing off, or these pathways are a little bit difficult, is because spirit's trying to redirect you down a specific pathway that is not only going to allow you to flow, it's going to be a lot easier, it's going to be more beneficial, you'll learn more, and you'll probably get to the castle a lot quicker. So there may be something in your life right now that you may be pushing towards and there's a lot of resistance, and that's where spirit's calling you to let go and allow things to flow. Look at where you're being redirected to, because there's something really, really calling your spirit that is going to make you very, very happy, and spirit's calling you there. It could even be as much as like you guys wanting to be super happy right now and then wanting to like take a lot of physical action towards it, and spirit's like, actually, you really need to rest right now. Or it could be, for example, I see a lot of people and they know they're psychic and they want to bring messages through, but because tarot is very big, they'll be really focused on tarot, and then they may get a little bit restricted with tarot because in past lives they learned how to read runes, or they learned how to read bones, or they learned how to read other things, and that's when they start to bring those messages through. But they're being restricted with tarot and it's not coming as easy because there's something else for them. Or they could be super, focused on astrology when their true strength may lie in numerology or palmistry or something like that. So there's something that you're there, but there's more. There's something in my spirit's like, there's more. You deserve more. There's more to it. And there's a pathway that's just going to flow. And the way that you get onto that pathway, spirit's saying to sit in meditation and really look at where you'll be, like what doors are closing or what doors feel a little bit of friction, and try other pathways out and see what comes to you, because there's something you wanted to reach. And spirit's saying the castle is right, you're going to get to the castle, but just the pathway there is going to be a little bit different. Or the pathway you're trying to walk down right now, it's actually the pathway next to it you need to walk down. I hope this is making sense for you guys. So let me just read these cards to get more information. So we have Mars, masculine energy, self-care, focus, action. Okay. Spirit's really calling you right now I'm hearing listen to your heart, you will understand. You're actually being called right now from the east direction to really cut off any distractions right now so you can get close to your heart's desire and your higher self. I'm literally being called for you guys to turn off the phone, turn the music down, I'm hearing, or cut out the busyness in your life as much as you can right now, because Spirit's almost calling you not to go into isolation, but either to get out into nature or just to sit with your spirit right now and ask yourself, like, I'm being called for you guys to maybe get a piece of paper and ask yourself specific questions. What would make me happy? What comes easy to me? Where do I want to go? And what really means something to me. And I'm being called for you guys to sit there in meditation and to see what these answers are, even record it if you can. I used to do that a lot, because there's, again, it's like the castle. You're right, you are supposed to reach that castle, but there's a different pathway to get there. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, it could as well be your psychic gifts or something like that. It could be you guys may be focusing heavily on the third eye and we're wondering why you're not seeing very strong visuals, but in actuality you're actually a very strong channeler and you're being called to sit in the energy of receiving so the messages will flow through. Or you guys could be really called towards like Reiki healing, or energy work of some sort, when in actuality there's like a different pathway to go down with the same type of work, but maybe it wouldn't be Reiki. You know, if that's the case, anywhere where there's a restriction, you're being called to like flip it upside down and try it a different way. Again, with tarot, you might be able to read runes. Again, if you're wanting to bring it to social media, you may be struggling with TikTok, but then it's because you might be on YouTube, or you could be struggling with YouTube when it's supposed to be on Instagram, etc, etc. You could be trying to get your artwork out somewhere where it's meant to be somewhere else. There's something like that as well, that I'm being called to mention for you guys, but I'm being called for you guys to be in reflection right now, especially doing journaling and just getting your feelings out. Or if you guys prefer to release through the throat chakra, just literally press and play on your video camera on your phone and just letting your feelings come out and see what comes out, because the more you speak and you let these words out, your higher self's going to come through and a lot more messages are going to come through. There's something about that as well. Again, even if you guys are super psychic, I'm also feeling some of you guys don't need decks, some of you guys don't need anything. You just need to sit there and bring the messages through. You know, like when Tyler Henry will just draw and the messages come through, or like when I do my chakra maps and I'll just draw and the messages come through. There's something like that where a gift's gonna break, but you're focused on something else right now while this gift breaks. That's something I'm really being called to, and you're being called to look within right now and go like meditation's a really big tool for you right now, so you can still everything around you and listen to what you truly want and where things are going to naturally flow. Because right now I feel like you may be strongly in your masculine energy trying to make something work, and it's going to work, but you just need to be in that energy of surrender to let it flow in. That's a really strong message. It's like friction being created because you know where you need to go, but there's like a specific tool that is going to present itself to you, but your hands are full with other tools right now and you're being told to put them down and just be in the energy of receiving right now. There's messages about to come to you too that's going to, because Spirit's not giving me the whole view, and I think because this may be a lesson that you're learning right now, but Spirit's saying like, I'm being shown you in the state of meditation and in that state of receiving, or just in the state of silence, having no distraction, and then it's like golden eggs just being handed into your hand with bits of information, and you're like and it's like something from maybe like a past life, and you're like, wait, let me try this out, and then you're really good at it, and then it's like, oh wait, let me you know, go forth with this. And it's like there's something like that, and they're being really careful with what they're saying, because I feel like it's not a test, but it's definitely something that you're karmically here to learn to put you on the right path. That's why they're not giving me too much information not to imprint, because it's something you're going to come to a realization with when you're in that state of receiving. I hope this is making sense. Pile number, I want to pull more. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 1's. Pile number 1's air element. I was going to say the messages from the air element for my pile number 1's, the east direction. What guidance and messages do we have? Take charge with authority. Yeah, do you know what it is as well? There's something that you guys are a pro at, but you may be feeling like a beginner at, and you're not. You guys may, because there's something about settling, but because you don't realize what's beyond that. So some of you guys may be settling for just being in the background of something when you're supposed to be the leader of it. You know what I mean? You guys are settling for maybe just being player 1, player 2 when you're supposed to be the boss. There's something about it that you guys can't see something. How do I put this into words? They're showing me that same analogy of like seeing that little muffin. It's like you're seeing the muffin, so you know you're supposed to go that way, but you're being called to zoom out, go into meditation, because beyond that muffin there's something else. Beyond that desire, beyond that job that you want, beyond that relationship that you want, beyond that gift that you know that you have, there's something more. It's not the end game, if that makes sense. Take charge with authority. Yeah, there's something that you've like taught other people. There's something that you've taught other people in other lifetimes, been hunted for it in other lifetimes, and then it's like you're either not aware of it yet and Spirit's redirecting your path so that it can like be ignited within you, or you may be looking at yourself as a beginner of something when you're actually not. There's something waiting to be activated, and things are being pushed so that it gets activated, and you're being called to zoom out. Oh God. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 1. Messages from the East direction for my pile number 1. Messages from the East direction for my pile number 1s. We have shed old skin. It could even be that something that you wanted in the past that you achieved, it's now time to fly higher. So it could be that you woke up to a particular gift already, or you've reached a certain point in your career already, but now it's time to fly higher. It's almost like I'm holding on to my old skin, still wanting to settle for what was on this paradigm that I've just come from, even though I'm about to approach somewhere else. There's this message from Spirit like, this isn't all there is. This isn't the end destination. There's more. You know what I mean? And you were always going to get more. This was just like the first layer. It's like I've reached the first step, but there's like 8 more steps, and Spirit's like, let's go on to the second step, but you can't see that yet. And you're wondering why the first step, it's a little bit difficult to say that. It's because you're meant to jump now. You're meant to jump somewhere else now. That's the message. So I feel like, do you remember I was saying you guys have like a backpack on you when you're going over these pathways? I feel like Spirit as well may be trying to pull that backpack off. Like, yeah, that backpack has all your old fears, all your old thoughts. They're gone now. You've outgrown them. Let's take it off. And you may be feeling like, oh my God, no. And Spirit's calling you to pull it off so you can see clearer when you jump towards this new step, this new path, there's something new coming. You guys as well may be feeling like you want to clear out some things in your life right now. You may be wanting to step away from certain friendships, certain family members. You guys may be feeling like you want a bit of a spring clean. You want to be cleaning things out, getting rid of the old. There's like an urge to do that. If you've been feeling it, as I say that, I look at the back and we have spring, see your seeds grow. Yeah, let's pull some more cards. Pile number, if I keep looking behind us, because Veda's up here and I've got a candle burning and he's very mesmerized by it. I don't want him to burn himself. I don't want him to burn his little whiskers. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 1. Messages for my pile number 1s, please. From the East direction. We have the mouse. You're overlooking some important details, so pay closer attention to what's going on. Yeah, it's like the wind is sending you east, but it's like, how do I explain this? The wind's sending you east because you're on a new journey now, and there's something to see in the east, something very important you're going to reach, but you may have had in your mind to keep going north, but you went north for as long as you needed to, and the only reason you were going north was to reach this point where you were supposed to turn east. Does that make sense? Like, the sea is here, you were meant to head here, but to get there you had to go north first to go that way. So you're going north, and now Spirit's like making the sails turn that way to go east, but because you've been so focused on going north, you're still wanting to go that way, whereas Spirit's like, yeah, we've done that, now it's time to go this way. And it's like, no, 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 we need to keep going that way. And Spirit's like, yeah, go right. And the way you do that is listening to where your energy is going right now. Are you wanting to chill out? Are you wanting to be a little bit more isolated? Are you wanting to be a little bit more private or going inward? Is there something else that's calling you right now? You're being called to listen to all these feelings that are coming up right now. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides, final card. I'm sorry I'm not getting too much information for your reading, pile number 1, but I think that it's very vital that there's things that you reach on your own, you know? I think that's part of the lesson, and you do that by turning inwards and just listening to your energy. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides, messages from the east direction right now. We have, I love all the birds here. We have the birds on here, and then we have the birds on this card. We have the condor. You're too enmeshed in this situation, so step back and see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action. Yeah, I feel like right now isn't the time to be making like really big decisions, but just listening to your energy right now and where it wants to go, and listening to where the friction is. We have the mountain goat. There's something out of balance in your life, so do whatever you need to do to correct it. Some of you guys are being called to turn inwards, turn these distractions out, turn these distractions off, so you can see where you're supposed to go. Because it could even be that this message here is just for you to rest before you keep going. And pull back into yourself before you keep going. Maybe you've been in this masculine energy for a while, so you've been pushing to get to that first step, and now Spirit's like, all right, before any of this even comes on and these directions change, we need you to rest, get a good night's sleep before we start turning right. Like, there's a feeling of you really listening to your body right now. Okay, what do I need right now? Do I need rest? Do I need to connect to my light again? Do I need to just play right now? Do I need to feel inspired again? And how can I do that? You're being called to really listen to you right now and what you need, so you can make the best decisions moving forward. That's a very, very strong message as well. But that's the message for you guys. I'm being called for you guys to really, really center into your energy right now. Remove any distractions and really look at where there's friction and where there isn't friction and move accordingly in that way. And I'm sorry I couldn't get too many details with this reading, but Spirit were very picky with the information coming through for this reading. So I hope I was able to bring you guys some clarity, or bring you guys whatever you needed with this reading. The messages from the other elements are going to be in the description box, so you can head over to everybody else's channel to get messages there. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance messages you guys need to hear from the east and the air element. Now, tapping into your energy before I pull any more cards, I was really being shown a rose quartz heart. So you guys may be doing a lot of work on your heart chakra right now, or there may be a lot of, I'm being told, healing and repairing going on in your heart chakra right now. So you guys may be feeling either like a really big expansion in the sense of just feeling very loved, wanting to give love, or maybe feeling how to explain this, maybe wanting to forgive certain people, or really seeing the brighter side of things and moving on for your own sake. Or it could be that there's a purge that you guys may be feeling a little bit numb, but there's something going on in the heart chakra right now, which is a form of release. And I'm being told to say really quickly, this too shall pass. And if you can get some rose quartz, I'm being told for you guys to do that. Some of you guys may even have like a heart-shaped rose quartz, because that was what I was being shown. So if you do have that, and you know that it's you that I'm talking about, keep that on you. Maybe meditate with it over your heart chakra, or just hold it, or just rose quartz pieces in general. I'm being called for you guys to keep around you, just to soothe you. You may even be really drawn to the color pink right now, and you're being called to like feed that in, maybe even in meditation, visualizing you know, the color pink going into your heart chakra. I feel like that's something that you're really being called to do. So let's get in. So you guys have medicine shield protection. Let's put that there. Why do we have this card, please, Spirit Guides? Messages from the east, air element. Why do we have medicine? Why do we keep saying medicine shield protection? There's something about you guys not fully acting on your feelings right now and just allowing them to pass through. I'm gonna lay the cards and get into it, but there's this feeling of you observing your emotions right now. It's all to do with the heart chakra though. There's something going on in your heart chakra right now. I'm also hearing frustrations. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. We have hitting your target. Messages from the east. Messages from the air element for my pile number 2 is messages from the east. Messages from the air element right now. We have wisdom. Messages from the east. Messages from the air element. Let me just lay these and then we have protection again, which is going directly under this card. And we have grounding. Messages from the east. One more card, please, spirit guides, before I channel. One more card before I channel. Messages from the east. What have we got? Self-care. Okay. And the back of the deck, we have masculine energy, Mars. Okay. Let me make sure that's... Okay. Okay, pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Messages from the east, the air element. Why do we have 2 lots of protection? Right now, you're being called to really, really focus on your own energy and your emotions that are passing through right now, and being very careful in regards to like what you're listening to, who you're around right now. Nothing doom and gloom or anything like that, but there's a big purge I feel happening, and it's almost like spirit's not wanting... Okay, I'm being shown an image. You know, okay, so when we are releasing or we're purging or we're reaching that point where our heart's kind of fitting back together and we're feeling that element of forgiveness, and we're feeling all of these feelings, what's happening is there is an alchemization in our heart space. And spirit's kind of showing me, you know, cement, when cement is put down and you're told not to step on it, and there's usually, there's usually barricades around it so that no one can step in it, because otherwise it's gonna mark, you're gonna have a footprint or a dog, you know, paw print, or you're gonna have a mark in that cement that's supposed to be smooth. There's an alchemization in your heart space right now, and spirit's really calling you to be careful. They're almost showing me a chamber around your heart, and being very careful of the energies you're bringing in right now, because you are going to be feeling super sensitive, because that energy of the heart, while it's been alchemized, it's not fully turned solid yet. It's not dry. That cement hasn't dried yet, and there's this energy of, while you're going through this alchemization, you're going to be a lot more sensitive, or you're going to be a lot more open than usual, and that's where spirit's calling you to put heavy boundaries in and be very I'm not saying isolate yourself, but be very gentle with yourself and who you're letting into your energy right now. If you know someone puts you down, or if you know someone doesn't fully respect you, don't allow them around you right now while this is happening. Or if you know someone is kind of brash and you know you might get a little bit sensitive to it right now, be careful of that. And I'm also being told to be careful of running with your emotions right now. Say now you're in a relationship and you're feeling really emotional, sit with the emotions and allow them to pass, and really feel into them and let them pass before making a really, really strong decision right now, because your emotions may be a little bit more erratic than usual as you're purging. You could also be feeling very frustrated towards friends right now more than usual, or partners right now, or family members, and you're being told it's okay. You're not being like mean or anything like that. Just be gentle with yourself and your emotions, and give yourself time to grieve, be frustrated, or feel anger, because very similar to the picture post I put up the other day, I feel like you guys as well are really dealing with how do I explain this? You guys are dealing with a lot of realizations right now where you guys may have not been thought of in certain ways, or people may have taken you for granted, and there's a frustration and an anger, maybe a grievance that's coming out there, and you're being called to focus on those emotions and don't let anyone interrupt them right now. This time right now is about you. This time right now is about letting emotions pass and really feeding these emotions, because similar to the post I made the other day, I think that you guys have done a lot of work on yourself, to the point that certain emotions that you buried down because you didn't feel like you were worthy of feeling them, grief, anger, frustration, you were told you couldn't feel them, you buried them down. your inner world has now felt like, you know what, I feel really comfortable to express these emotions right now because I know I'm allowed to. So these emotions are coming out, which is frustration and grievance, and they're coming out through the heart chakra, because I feel like that's your strongest chakra that you lean into and you work with. They're coming out through that heart chakra as grievance and irritation and all of that, maybe some anger. And the reason they're coming up is because your inner world is now feeling like you can feel them. So Spirit's calling you right now to sit with these emotions, nurture these emotions, allow these emotions to come out and let them come through. Because it's almost like if you had like a certain partner or a certain family member or a certain friendship around that would make you feel like you shouldn't have those feelings, it may be then at risk of you pushing them back down and not feeling comfortable to pull them back up. And right now there's a clear out. It's like Spirit, you know, it's showing me like Spirit showing me like a tunnel, and there's like sheep. I don't know why I'm being shown sheep, right? There's sheep coming out of this tunnel, and there's like a road. So Spirit's like halting this road, you know, like a traffic warden. Spirit's like holding this road to stop the cars going, and then moving their arm like this for the sheep to come through. So then the sheep are like making their way through, but then Spirit's like, you know, there's lorries coming. Spirit's like, make sure people don't interfere with this energy right now, and holding these cars at bay like this so these sheep can kind of pass through, because there's a release happening. I don't know if sheep is like a strong symbolism for some of you guys, but I'm being shown that, and Spirit's like, there's this big release happening, which is going to really open your heart space and open your heart chakra. I feel like the release, which I'm being shown tears, it's fertilizing the seeds for more flowers to grow, where there's going to be forgiveness coming, new connections coming in, new friendships coming in, a lot of that, and new just love for yourself as well. And that's why Spirit's like, while this is alchemizing, we don't want any little footprints. You know, sometimes when you see cement and birds have stepped on, and you see their little feet shapes in the cement, Spirit's like making sure there's none of that, so you can alchemize properly and it comes very natural. Spirit's very protective of you right now. The fact that you have the protection card here, and then you have the protection card down here, the shield, I feel like Spirit's very focused right now. And you may even be feeling like you how do I explain this? You might not want to be as super social as you usually are. You may not be feeling, if you guys work with other people, like therapy, counseling, you guys may be called to put extra boundaries in, or you may be a little bit sensitive there than usual. If you guys do light work, tarot work, energy work, you may be called to like refrain from that a minute, because, and I'm being told, you work from your heart space. So there's no tainted, there's no handprints that Spirit want on this right now as you're alchemizing it. So Spirit's like, you're not losing your gift, you're not broken, and you're not numb, you're not turning dark, but like, you're being called to just focus on these emotions. We don't want too much energy coming in right now. This is a time for you. So that's a really, really strong message coming through. Why do we have hitting your target? And then we have this card, the wisdom card. I feel like you're already aware of what's going on. I feel like you're already aware that you're purging from the heart. You may just be a little bit confused or uncomfortable with certain feelings, because you may be having feelings come up for people that you never saw a fault in before as well. Times where you were kind of like not thought of in a way that you thought of a particular friend, or a family member that you've done a lot for. You're now starting to look at it like, wait a minute, you don't do a lot for me. And you may be starting to feel frustration and anger. It's not that you hate this person. It's not that, you know, you're gonna have a falling out with this person. You can decide once these emotions are over what you want to do with that connection, but right now you're just being called to keep people at bay, or just keep energies at bay that are too heavy, so you can focus on this. You're fully aware, I feel like, on a higher self level what's going on. You're fully aware of that, and I feel like you're fully aware on a higher self level that you need to be nurturing yourself right now with this self-care card. But it's more so Spirit want to let you know you're not being crazy, wanting to shield yourself from certain people, certain energies. You're not feeling crazy for having certain feelings come up towards certain people, but just be careful not to act out of emotion right now. Wait till it's settled, then make your decision. And Spirit's making it adamant. It's not a case of allow people in your life that are hurting you and that you're realizing are hurting you. It's wait till your emotions have settled before making a drastic decision of cutting someone out, or you know, making a really big change. Right now, just focus on these feelings that are passing, allow them to flow out and observe them, because there's frustration and anger coming through, and it's valid. And your inner self knows it's valid, otherwise it wouldn't be presenting it to you. If your inner self, if you hadn't done the work that you've done to show your inner child, your shadow self, these feelings are valid, I'm allowed to feel them, you wouldn't even be feeling them. They'd be stored down and they'd be weighing you down. But your shadow self and your inner child have gone, oh my God, you've done enough work to show me that my feelings matter. Here's some frustration I have towards this person. Here's some anger I have about what happened 6 years ago. Here's all these feelings, because it feels safe to, and now you're being called to just let them pass. Let them flow like a river is the message. So let's pull some more cards. Pile number... Actually, I want to pull these ones first. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from the East. Guidance from the East. Messages from the air element. Trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. So we have the Camel. And I know this isn't what the card's supposed to say, but it's coming through. If you guys have ever been on holiday somewhere where they have camels, and I hate this, but they literally have the camels walking through the desert with people on them, paying to sit on them, and they're having to carry these really big loads, and it's like a tourist thing, and they have people just sitting on them, and I very highly doubt that these camels want that to happen to them. I really highly doubt that these camels want to be walking through, you know, without any drinks to like drink, just carrying these human beings around. I feel like they probably feel a little bit degraded. And there's this feeling of you guys like may have allowed a certain behavior or allowed people to maybe treat you a certain way without realizing that it was something that upset you. And now these emotions are coming up. It's like, actually, I don't like this anymore. And now there's a frustration because it's like, how do I move about this now? Like there's a frustration and an anger, and it's like, I don't want this anymore. That's what's coming through with this card. It's like, I don't want this. Why have I been accepting this? I don't actually have to accept this. And you may even find as well, like people in your life may be saying, oh, do this. Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? And naturally, maybe in the past, you've always just gone, yeah, I'll do it. And now you're feeling like, actually, I don't really want to do that. And I'm actually allowed to say no if I really don't want to do it. Like, I'm a kind person, I give to people, but there's sometimes I don't want to do it and I don't have to. So I'm seeing you guys really stamping your foot down and being like, no. And I feel like there's something getting to you in regards to that, like someone trying to tug at you and you're like, no. And I keep wanting to say to you, your feelings are valid. You don't have to be walking through the desert with people on your back. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I feel like sometimes people haven't considered your feelings because you naturally are a giver. Because of your heart being your, strong, your strong source of light and inspiration. I feel like people have almost looked at it like an overflowing cup. And even though it is an overflowing cup, it doesn't mean that it's just there for the taking. And your feelings are very, very valid is the message from Spirit. I feel like you guys are going into a time where you're reevaluating some connections or people around you, whether that's cutting people off or literally just having a strong conversation with someone and just letting your feelings be known, because maybe those people don't know that you have certain feelings towards it because you've never expressed it. And you're reaching a point where it's like, well, I didn't have those feelings before because I didn't even know I could have them. I just buried them. Now they're coming up and I don't like that anymore. I need you to stop doing that. So there's something like that coming up. But Spirit saying, wait until you are understanding of these emotions and they've passed for you to make that decision. Some of you guys are feeling really numb right now because it's a proper purge, and Spirit's saying, hold on. Let's keep going. I want to pull another card. Pile number... And we have this orangey yellow here with a camel, which is the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. So it's connected to your inner power. And then we have the blue colour, which is the throat chakra. I'm hearing the little mix song, no. And they're saying, no. I said yes too many times, now it's no. There's something you put up with because you just didn't think. It was just like, it just came natural to you. And now it's like, actually, I hate doing this. Why am I doing it? Or I hate when you speak to me like that. So why have I just been accepting it? Or I've given so much to the situation, why haven't I been getting it back? And you've now come to a realization, there's a bit of frustration and anger, you're being called to acknowledge and purge. Snow leopard, take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. Yeah, you're being called to focus on your emotions right now. Look at all the blues. I know he's not underwater, but it's reminding me of the ocean. You guys are being called to sit with your emotions and get rid of any distractions right now. A lot of time in water as well. If you can get to the sea, lakes, ponds. Sorry for the noise, guys. Boys, what are you doing? What are you both doing? They're running around with a ball. Theta and Jasper are running around the house with a ball. But yeah, anytime you can get towards water, you guys may be my water pile, to be honest with you. Because I'm being told the water is very healing for you, so it wouldn't shock me if you are my water pile. If you're new here, I have a pile that is always very connected to water. If you are new here, you may find that in other readings, I will call you my water pile. But yeah, I feel like water is really healing for you. So showers, baths, anything like that, you're being called to be around water a lot. The back of the deck, guys, we literally have the polar bear. Stand up for yourself and speak your truth respectfully and compassionately with no attachment to the outcome. Yeah, I feel like you've done so much work on yourself, boys. I think Padme's up here now. All three of them are up here. I feel like you guys... How do I put this into words? I feel like you guys have naturally given a lot of your life and you've done so much work on yourself to be able to receive that now that you realize how much you give, it's like, well, where's mine then? Why aren't I getting it back then? And then there's like a grievance or a sadness at where you haven't had that back, and you're looking at like, well, there's a drought then in your life of like receiving, and it's like, who genuinely wants to be around me? Or who needs to be around me? Who's around me because they like pouring into me the way I pour into them and they like my company and it's reciprocated? Or who has been around me just to take because they like this hearty energy, or they like that I just went with the flow, or they like, who is around me because of that? And I feel like you're reevaluating that, and that's where there's some frustrations coming up. Wrong cards. Pile number. And you're going through this last purge, because what I'm seeing after this is the cement drying, and then you guys being in this very open stage where you're ready to give again. And I see you forgiving people, but it's with a lot of wisdom behind it, because we have the wisdom card here with a lot of wisdom behind it. So it's like Spirit saying, now that you're moving on to this next level, you're here to look at who's in your life right now at this last phase of this last level. Really take a look at who you want to come with you. Really acknowledge what can be salvaged with firmer boundaries, and look at who maybe it's time to leave behind if you feel it's time. Only if you feel it's time. And then you're being called to evaluate that now, because when you step to this new phase, there's not going to be frustration and anger of people not giving back to you, because you're going to be in that state of being ready to receive as much as you give. And there's going to be maybe newer people around, you know what I mean? But you're being called to evaluate who's around you right now before you reach that stage of forgiveness. Because you may have given a lot of love before, but there's a lot, even more love to give moving forward, because you've met yourself deeper and you've done that inner work. So it's like, who gets to see that version of you? It's up to you, but you're purging first. Pile number 2. Yeah, we have the Hermit. Retreat and recharge. Yeah, you're being really focused to spend time with your emotions right now and how you're feeling, and to not let other people's opinions sway your emotions right now, because I feel like you may have been gaslighted in the past out of your own feelings. Hello? Are you coming up on the table now? It is here, guys. Yeah, you're being called to really sit with your emotions and not let other people, like I said, the imprint thing, not let other people imprint. Say hi, babes. Be careful of the flames, please. Say hi, everyone. Say hello. Be careful. I want you to be careful because there's flames. I'm just being careful of your tail, okay, baby? Okay? But yeah, that's what you're being called to do. Not let other people imprint your own emotions, because I feel like in the past you've wanted to express these emotions, people have battered them back down. You can't feel anger, you can't have your own opinion in this. You know, I feel like you've had that a lot. And that's why Spirit's being really protective of you right now, so you're not taking other people's, because there's a fragility when we're healing. We go into deeper emotions. We are, a lot of the times when we're healing, in a lower vibration, because we have to go down into those murky waters, get to the bottom of the sea where that anchor is and pull it up. So we are in a bit of a lower vibration, and Spirit's being really careful who's saying what to you right now while you honor these feelings. Final card, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 2. We have spring. See your seeds grow. And I think it's really beautiful to mention that these feelings wouldn't be coming up if you hadn't already done the work to make room for these feelings to come up. It's like, think of these feelings as weeds that are showing you why certain flowers couldn't grow. They're coming up now because you did the work already. You made room for these feelings to come up so that you can honor these parts of yourself. You fought for yourself so hard and did that inner work so deep that this version of you that may have felt neglected or unheard has finally felt comfortable to go, these are my feelings and I'm going to acknowledge them. So you've already done that work, and that's why Spirit's really calling you to listen right now, because you did this work for this reason, for you to hear yourself, for you to pour into yourself. You did that work for this reason. And what's coming next is new flowers growing because you've got rid of the weeds. But even in your physical life right now, you're being called to look around and look at the people in your life that may be acting as leeches or weeds right now, and looking and really reevaluating, what do I want? Is this going to benefit me moving forward? Is this person someone that is able to, you know, pour into me the way I pour into them? Is this person around me because they like being around me, or is there another reason? And maybe having those harder talks with certain people once these emotions have settled, because it's like your new eyes are forming where you're seeing things differently. So you may want to alter certain connections moving forward. The back of the deck, we have dream and journey. So this is all part of a process that is even bigger than what we're looking at right now, because I feel like you guys have been on either an inner journey to tap into your highest potential, or a self-love journey where you've been really focused on reaching your inner heart, reaching your inner child, and really pouring into you where you wouldn't have had before. Or you've been on an empowerment journey of being the best version of you, and standing in your power. But either way, this is a part of that process. It's not the end, but it's definitely a part of it. And what's next is the spring, where these flowers grow and new connections and all of that come in as a result of your hard work. But this is the clear out that's happening. I feel like you've been through a few clear outs, because the deeper you've gone, you needed to clear out. You know, when you go like down a mine and you'll get like whatever jewels or whatever, I don't know what you do down a mine, I've never been a miner, but you go down, I'm guessing there's jewels, and then you're like, let's go deeper, and then you go deeper, and then there's more jewels, and then you take them, and then there's no, you know what I mean? So it's like you go in deeper and deeper, so there's more things being uncovered. And because you got so deep now, it's like emotions that you never even knew you would have had down there, and they're coming up, and you made room for them. So Spirit's saying, you're doing amazing, sweetie. The Christiana meme coming through. You're doing amazing, sweetie. You're doing brilliant. I want to say that for you guys. Just remember to focus on you. Do not let people guilt trip you right now. This time period is for you to come to terms with your own feelings and all of that that's coming through right now. You're being called to focus on that. Right now is about you. Yeah, so that's what I have for you, pal number 2. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pals, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance messages you guys need to hear from the East and the air elements. You guys chose the Shaman card, which is the card of completion. Before I start pulling on the oracle cards, well, these cards below, which are going to be acting as my tarot cards for this reading, I am hearing the Janae Aiko song, Why Aren't You Smiling? And she's singing in that song, you've got to trust the signs, everything will turn out fine, so why aren't you smiling? Life can get wild when you're caught in the whirlwind, chasing the wind. You've got to understand there really is no end. There's really no beginning. There's really no lose. There's really no winning. And those lyrics are standing out to me because there's a strong message here that life is a journey. and that seasons are continuously changing, and that everything that you're learning, everything that you're reaching, there really is no end goal. Everything is a journey. Life is a journey. It's not a destination. And Spirit's calling you to go easy on yourself, and remember that when you set maybe yourself a goal and you don't reach this and that to get there, but you've reached so many other things. It's like you may have said at the beginning of the year, because we are at the end of 2022 when I'm putting this out, but it doesn't matter when you watch it, but you could have said at the beginning of 2022, I really want to reach this in my career, or I really want to be in a relationship, and by the end of the year you may not have reached that, but Spirit's like, okay, you didn't reach that, but your energy, your higher self had a different plan for you, and look what you did do. Maybe you healed something very important that added to that journey, and maybe it's next year you were supposed to be in that relationship, or next year you were supposed to reach that career milestone, but this year was the year of preparation for it. And Spirit's saying, yes, it's cool to have goals and set your sights. Spirit's saying that's cool. However, don't be hard on yourself when you may miss them, because sometimes it may take a little longer for them to come in because there was certain preparation that was needed, or there was a derail that needed to happen so you could learn something different, so that you could see something deeper, because maybe what you wanted at the beginning of the year isn't something you want anymore, and you are always being directed to something even deeper and better for you. So there's a strong message of that yes, we may look at numbers and money and a connection with someone, or you know, a certain body ideal or something like that as winning, just because the culture that we have shows that as winning. There's so much other things that you have done that have been so beneficial, that are gonna lead you to success, or lead you to happiness, or lead you to inner peace, or lead you to a beautiful love, and etc. And you're being called to look at everything you've done, because you've done so much, and you actually work towards, there's a goal that you would have set, or there's something you wanted to achieve, and you may be feeling a little bit, oh well, I didn't achieve that, but you have actually this year been clearing the way so that next year you can achieve it, or been reaching. It's like you've wanted to get to the top of the stairs and you've made it halfway, but you're no longer where you were at the beginning. And Spirit's like, you've literally made it halfway. Do you know how much you've done to get there, to get halfway? You've only got halfway to go now. Whereas at the beginning of the year, you were right at the beginning. Like, do you understand how much you've done? And Spirit's calling you to look at that and pat yourself in the back for all you've done. Because I feel like some of you guys may have a lot of Virgo in your chart. You may be very perfectionistic. I just keep being shown a lot of Virgo, and like my mind's racing. There's a lot I want to do. There's a lot I want to get done. And it's like, there's something that you may be feeling is unticked, but it's either because that's either not for you, or that's to come next because there was something else that needed to be analysed and worked through before you got there. So that's something that I'm being called. You can't just jump from one step to the top, and you've put the necessary effort to start taking those baby steps one step at a time. That's a message. So let's pull some more cards. Messages from the East, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from the East. Messages from the air element. Messages from the East. We have the earth. It's like when souls incarnate on earth, we come here for the experience. If we were just coming here for the end game, we'd be born, turn 80 years old and leave. We don't. We go through life every year. We learn wisdom, we gain wisdom, we go through experiences, we climb up, we fall back down. It's a bit of a game of snakes and ladders in ways, you know what I mean? And we go up, we go down, there's roller coasters, there's emotions, there's seasons, there's days of the week. It's all a journey. We don't just jump from age 1 to age 80 because we miss all of the beauty in between. We miss the connections we make. We miss the wisdom that we, gain from that failed venture, or having to really fight for that certain thing, or having the inspiration to go after what we wanted. We learn things. And Spirit's saying that there's something you've learned. You've learned so much. And Spirit's calling you to look at that and congratulate yourself for that. So we have earth. I'm going to pop that here. Let's go deeper. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from the East. Messages from the East. We have safe travel. Pile number... Do you know what I'm being told as well? you're being called as well to look at how much you've grown, in the sense of, I remember I went on a school trip to Paris, and yeah, okay, Paris was cool, but the best part of the trip was like being away from home. We were on like a big bus, like a big coach, all the way there with all my friends, driving in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? You were away from your parents. You could eat whatever sweets you want. And when I look back at that trip, yes, I went to Paris. That was great. Yes, I went to Disneyland. That was cool. But like when I look back at like what my little childlike self loved was being away from home, not having any responsibility like that, being with my friends. That was the funnest part, which is quite funny, considering where we were headed. And there's something about that, of you looking at everything that you've done, how much you've gained, looking in the mirror, looking how different, you may be looking at yourself now from a year ago. Maybe a year ago you may have picked yourself apart and not seen the beauty in yourself, and now you are. And this spirit's almost saying to look up maybe at your surroundings, where you were a year ago and where you are now. It's completely different. And there's like a congratulations coming in, because there's so much you've completed already that you may be overlooking, because there's something that you have. And when Spirit's saying, but look what everything you've done though. Look at everything you've gained though. We have deep sleep. I love how wisdom is the card in the middle as well. We have deep sleep, and we have final card from this deck anyway. Masculine energy. The back of the deck, we have air. Yeah, the strong message here is to really give yourself a pat on the back. And it's funny because there's this restaurant chain in the UK. I don't know if you have it anywhere else. I'm pretty sure it's not UK based. I'm sure it's everywhere. It's called Frankie and Benny's. It's an Italian-American restaurant. And every time it's someone's birthday, the lights dim and they bring over like a little cake thing. And it's like, congratulations. You know that song? And I'm literally like, I feel like I'm in a room and you're sat in front of me and the lights have just gone dim. And then Spirit's like, congratulations. There's like a feeling of you guys really patting yourself on the back and really treating yourself for how far you've come. You've really pushed yourself, and you're being called to maybe rest up before you move forward, or tap into that feminine energy within you, and in that state of receiving before you move forward, to really get into that imaginative even state, so you can have new inspirations moving forward, because Spirit keeps wanting you to put the phone down or look around you right now and really bask in where you are. You're nowhere near where you started, and that's something to be so proud of. And that's the message that just keeps coming through before you move forward. Because a lot of you guys may be thinking like, oh, we're going into a new year and I've got to get this sorted. I've got to get this sorted. And Spirit's like, that's cool. We love that. However, look at how far you've come. Yes, we can get excited about what's to come, but give yourself a pat on the back of everything that you've achieved this year, and how hard you fought for yourself, or how much you've worked on yourself, or how deep you've gone, or what you've already set in motion, because you wouldn't be halfway up the stairs if you hadn't taken those steps halfway there, and you've already done that. So there's something about you really pouring into yourself there, and that's the strong message from these cards. Because I see you guys, it's like I'm being shown the Knight of Wands in my mind's eye. It's like you guys preparing. It's like, right, I'm ready next year to go full guns blazing. And it's like, Spirit's like, yes, so before you do that, let's rest right now. Let's chill right now. If you want the energy to do that next year, we need to be in that state of receiving right now, and pour into ourselves and have a nice hot bath and have a bottle of, bubbly, and buy ourselves something nice and chill out right now, so we can focus next year, because you haven't congratulated yourself yet, and you've just planted so many seeds, and if you're wanting a harvest next year, you want to really just be tending to what you've already done and nurturing it right now. And by that I mean nurturing your vessel and nurturing you. That song has come up in my readings a few times, Vienna, when will you realize Vienna waits for you. I'm hearing that song. It's come up before and it's coming up now. Pile number 3. Yeah, Spirit wants you, if this is in regards to like you guys thinking of next year, the new year, putting things ahead, or you guys have in your mind that you want to push forward, Spirit's saying to give yourself a month or just a couple of weeks of just soothing, chilling out, pouring into you as you prep, before you move forward, giving yourself some rest, patting yourself on the back, before you move forward. Because Spirit keeps showing me, like, look, they're writing down their goals and they're ready to do it, but they're already feeling a bit tired and burnt out, and they haven't acknowledged where they're at yet. They still don't feel that they've done enough. And Spirit wants you to feel that energy of gratitude for yourself, because that's going to give you more blessings to come in. Yeah, pile number 3, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from the air element, messages from the east. We have the goose. Yeah, take time to rest and recuperate rather than continuing your striving. A very big theme, which is funny because, like I said, the east and the air element is connected to spring. And I feel like you're about to enter spring, where you're moving forward again and seeds are about to bloom. So it's like right now you're in your winter phase, you're being called to rest and take time to rest and pour into yourself before you keep going. Pile number... And that's whatever you want to do, whether this resting up and treating yourself is having a nice hot bath, having a nice meal, taking care of yourself that way, or is it being careful of your finances, you know what I mean, physically, you know, maybe settling down a little bit and just chilling out right now before you start, you know, working out heavy in the new year, if that's something you're aiming for. Or if you guys are thinking of maybe taking on a lot of spiritual work in the next year, in the new year, you're being called to rest up energetically right now, so you have time to maybe do some power retrievals, call your energy back to you if you can, meditation, you know, card cutting if that's something you're feeling you need to do, or even just getting into the energy of inspiration again, watching movies, listening to music, looking at art, getting out into nature, anything that inspires you. We then have the honeybee. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. I feel like more so the compassion right here is for yourself. That's what I'm really being called to say right now. Yeah, I feel like the compassion right now is for yourself and to pour into you. Yeah. Spirit really want you to rest up, or even if it's like you've been working, you're being called to, like, I'm not saying like party and go crazy, but do things that are enjoyable or fun to you and don't put yourself down for doing them, you know? The back of the deck, we have the pole of air. Stand up for yourself and speak your truth respectfully and compassionately with no attachment to the outcome. Again, similar to pile number 2, this is very much a time for you and you giving yourself whatever makes you happy right now before you move forward. Spirit's calling you to put the pen down right now, or to jump off the pedal bike, you know what I mean? You've been up the hill for ages. Let yourself go and just let yourself ride down the hill right now. Let yourself have some fun before you continue. Pile number, because you guys can keep going. You guys are like a steam train. You guys could just work until you just like fall asleep on the job. I feel like you're those type of people. I feel like you guys are proper perfectionists. You can just keep going. And your spirit guides love that about you in a sense, because it's like they keep me on my toes. But then it's like also, you are going to need to rest. You're not a machine. You know what I mean? Like, there's something that you're doing that requires a lot of you, and it's like, you do need to rest. You could have been doing a lot of healing work, like a lot of inner work, shadow work, healing work, and then it's like, okay, now I want to do all of this, and Spirit's like, right, you've just cleared out some heavy energies. Let us rest up. You know what I mean? Let us chill out. Let's just allow these energies to sink in right now. What is the rush? Life is a journey. It's not a destination. And even though you're wanting to reach another destination, the minute you get there, you're just going to be wanting to get to another one. So let's savor where we're at right now. You've just brought in a lot. Pile number... I love how 2 came out at the same time. I can share a card. Oh, hello, baby. Jasper's here. Hi, baby boy. Hi, handsome. Jasper never fully comes up by here because he can see I'm talking and he doesn't know who I'm talking to, and he gets a little bit nervous. So we have Traveler, move in a new direction. And we have, oh goodness, your card fell on the floor. Sorry, Jess. Just grabbing the card, okay? We have Fire Guardian, ignite your passions. And the back of the deck. See, I feel next year there's something significant going to happen, or if you're watching this in the middle of the year, in the next couple of months, something significant is going to happen, and it could literally be you guys being called in a different direction or something igniting you, and I feel like Spirit's preparing you for that. But I feel like if you keep pushing yourself right this second when you're being called to be in the state of receiving and chilling out, I feel like you may be a little bit too burnt out when it's to come in, and Spirit wants you right and ready for it because it's something you've been calling in. So Spirit's calling you to rest now so you can be ready for it. That's something that's coming through. The back of the deck, we have the Mother Earth, feel loved and comforted. So again, you're being called to nurture yourself and rest right now and take care of yourself, and pat yourself on the back and be in that gratitude energy, that energy of receiving, to look at how far you've come and really just pat you on that mountaintop where you're at right now. Or just chill out and look at the views, because you're about to embark on another journey soon, and Spirit's calling you to kind of like rest up, or look at how far you've come, because it's like you're working, but it's like you're not then wanting the rewards, or you're not feeling like you're deserving of the awards because you have other plans in your mind and you have to reach them before you get that reward. And Spirit's like, no, sit back and receive it now. Sit back and chill out now. Pat yourself on the back now is the message. So Path 3, that is what I have for you. I really hope that this reading resonated for you. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if it did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching. The link to the other channels are going to be in my description box too, if you want to see messages from the other directions and the other elements. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pal 4, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages you guys need to hear from the East and the air element. So you guys chose the Cave card, which is the card of retreat. So let's get straight in. Spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 4s. What guidance do my pile number 4s need to hear from the East and the air element right now? I'm hearing Colours of the Wind by Pocahontas. I'm hearing it's time to come out now. It's time to come out. Have you been in this cave for a little while, retreating and focusing on you? I feel a little bit of feral cat energy. Leave me alone. I'm happy in my little cocoon. It's safe in my little cocoon. And then Spirit's like, well, yes, you were meant to be in the cocoon and everything, but I think it's time to come out because your butterfly wings are so big now, they're actually bursting out of the cocoon. And you guys are like, no, I'm still a caterpillar, it's fine, I need to be in here a little while longer. And Spirit's like, no, I can literally see your wings now. Like, it really is time to come out. And you're like, no, I'm okay. And there's like a funny kind of like push and pull that Spirit's kind of like referencing. And it's not that Spirit's pulling you out, because you come out in your own time of your own little cocoon. And I know how hard it is after going inward, being in isolation, having to like open up again. I know that really takes its time, and Spirit's acknowledging that and allowing you space to come out when you're ready. But it's almost as well like, okay, so imagine you're in this cave, and it's reminding me of what I do with Jasper, because Jasper's semi-feral. He won't just like walk into a room if he's being called. He's very careful where he's headed. So what I do is I have these little treats called dreamies, and I put one on the floor, and then I put one here and one here, so it's like a little pathway that leads him into the room. And I just sit back and I'm patient, and there's almost this feeling of like you guys very adamant, like, I'm in my cocoon, I'm staying here, it's safe in here, I don't want anyone around me, I don't want connections around me, it's fine. But then there's like little things that are sparking your interest, I'm being told. Like, you may be being called to like travel if you can, or you may find that your career's taken off a little bit, and then there's other desires coming up, or you guys may naturally just be seeing the world in a different light and wanting to head places. And it's like, there's this feeling of, I want to stay hidden, but there's actually stuff outside I'm really wanting to do now. There's you may even be having like if you've been single for a while, you may even be having little flares of like romantic thoughts coming up or connections, and then it's like, well, where are they coming from? I never had them before. They're new. I didn't have them before, but now I've, you know, been doing the inner work. I'm feeling them. Am I ready for a connection? I don't know. Maybe I should be on my own, but like I am feeling this way too. And there's there's this thing going on. Spirit's almost like observing you as you come out. And Spirit's just kind of like watching you. I'm going to put more cards down to really get into it. But Spirit's like, in your own time, take your time. But the gates are open for you to come out, by the way. I feel like it was the same way when you went into the inner work. I feel like you were like, nope, 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 and running out. And Spirit were like, you know, you want what's on the other side, so let's just get in. And then I feel like when you finally got in, it was like, I want to get out, I want to get out. And then the minute you felt comfortable in that cocoon, alchemizing, it's like, yeah, no, it's really warm in here. I really don't want to, I don't want to leave here at all. Pile number 4. Messages from the East. We have feminine energy. Messages from the East. Oh, goodness. We have acceptance. Messages from the East, my spirit guides. We have action. Look at all the blues and purples. You guys may recently have been having activations in your third eye and crown chakra. Which is funny because the work that you've been doing doesn't feel like crown chakra, third eye work. Because I feel like they were already pretty strong with you guys. I feel like the work you've been doing, this is health. The work I feel like you've been doing is on your lower chakras. Not your higher chakras. Your higher chakras didn't really need too much. I feel like they were just aiding you. We have protection. Back of the deck, we have focus. I don't know why Jasper's gone. Jasper was just here and he's gone. Okay, spirit guides. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 4's guidance and messages from the East and the air element. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm there's straight away again, there's a strong message that it's time, but I'm being called for you to take your time. I feel like you're being really, really called to sit with feelings that you have right now, because what I found with this reading is, because I'm bringing messages from the East and the air, the season for that is spring. And what I found with the last 3 piles is them preparing for spring. Whereas Spirit's here with you guys saying, no, you're in your spring right now. You're getting used to feelings that you've never felt, desires that you've never felt. You're opening up to parts of your own inner power that you've never felt. However, because you've never felt certain emotions and feelings before, there is a little bit of an uncomfortability, because it's like, am I supposed to feel this? Am I supposed to be like this? Am I supposed to be, you know, saying this right now? Am I supposed to be this confident? Am I supposed to be doing these things? And the reason you're reminding me of, I don't know if you watched my video the other day on your new era, but if you did, you would have been, I really feel like you're the same pile. There was a particular energy where it was like, I'm not in the new phase yet, but I'm not in the old. I'm kind of in the middle. So it's like, you're not in the cave anymore because you're naturally being pushed out energetically because you don't need to be there anymore. But you haven't set foot on this new path yet because you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable too. So there's this feeling of you maybe stepping a toe in the water, tapping into a desire of maybe romantic love or a new friendship, and then maybe a little trigger comes out, you're going back, dealing with it, and then coming back out. So you're in this kind of very similar to that pile, this pendulum swing right now, where it's like, I'm feeling an emotion, a new emotion for the first time. There's a trigger here. Let me run back, heal this, come back out. And that's where you're at. And that's why Spirit's calling you to take your time right now, because you're adjusting and being told to a new frequency. And I think that's why a lot of the purples were coming through with the crown chakra and the third eye, because I feel like you've been doing inner work to a point where you've either had a strong ego death or you've just let go of the old. And when we let go of the old, there's a feeling of nothingness and a void, because it's like what we once knew has gone and now we feel a little bit empty. Now it's time to fill all of those holes up where things have been taken out, and it's like it may be uncomfortable because you're feeling feelings you haven't felt. wanting love, being open to love in that way, thinking of romance in that way. And I'm being pulled to romance and opening up to friendships more, because I feel like that's where there may have been more triggers. It's 222 on the clock, by the way, if you've been seeing that a lot, which is the energy of the moon, the divine feminine. Yeah, I feel like a lot of your life you were in your masculine energy and pouring into people and focusing on maybe other people's wants and needs and doing for everybody else, whereas coming out of this cave, I feel like your feminine energy is taking the forefront, where you're in that state of receiving, opening up to what you deserve. And I feel like as you're coming out of this cave, certain things are falling on your lap or are going to, and you're intuitively aware of it. And then there's maybe like an uncomfortable feeling of, I don't know how to deal with this. Walking, you know, you're walking feeling confident in it. It's like you may be having little doubts of, am I being arrogant? Is my ego too big? Or I am really interested in the material world right now and sorting my home interior out or getting a new car. And then you may be thinking, wait, should I really be doing this? Is this too materialistic? And it's not doubts, it's just these thoughts that are cropping up. And I feel like you're dealing with these new feelings right now, and Spirit's calling you to really feel into them, because growth isn't comfortable and fleeing the nest isn't comfortable, but we do it because we want to fly. And that's what you're being called to do right now, is really focus on these desires and these feelings, and give yourself grace and time as you're coming out of this cave right now and adjusting to the light, you know what I mean, with the sun coming down, and adjusting to you know, these new feelings. Some of you guys even maybe feeling a little bit empty, because you've just let go of so much. You may just be feeling empty. What makes me happy? Who even am I? What colors do I like to wear? You know, how do I like to do my hair? What do I like to watch? And you're being called to dabble and really open up to that right now, is the message, to really see what you like, so that by the time summer comes, you're basking in it and enjoying and dancing in it, you know. So that's a really, really strong message that I'm really being called to give you right now. Just take your time, give yourself grace, and try out new things and find what lights you up. That's a really strong message. I want to pull some more cards. What did it say at the back of this deck? Acceptance. Yeah, I feel like some of you guys may be burying new feelings that are coming through as well. Like, you may find that you're a lot more vocal than you used to be, and then you're feeling uncomfortable with that and wanting to bury it. Like, whoa, where did this voice come? I don't know if I feel comfortable having a voice like this and speaking my truths like this, but that's what you were doing the inner work for. Or some of you guys may have a strong opinion of certain things, but you're not used to having such a strong opinion. So now it's like, oh wait, hang on a second, like, am I supposed to be saying these things? I don't think I am, and wanting to kind of chuck it back in the cave. But that's like a part of you that you're being called to honor and tailor to you and learn boundaries with, you know. Could even be feeling the urge to dance and be in your sensual body and move your body like that, and then it's like, should I really be doing that? And you're being called to lean into these feelings that are coming natural to you, because as you've come out of this cave, you're meeting your truest self, yourself, without other shadow perceptions and people's projections onto you. You're meeting your truest self right now. And you're being called to get to know that version of you, because maybe your truest self is a little bit more opinionated, you know what I mean? And that's okay. You're being called to really feel into it and set boundaries with that, and see how that feels. Maybe this new version of you doesn't really care to listen to music as much. Maybe you want to make your own music, or maybe just love silence and you're not used to that. And you're being called to really listen. What do I like? What do I like? What foods do I like? Because even when we do deep inner work like that, foods we used to like change. You know, I used to be someone that loved really heavy foods. I can't do that anymore. And there's no change that's happened. I've just done a lot of inner work, but I can't. If I eat like heavy creams or yogurts or anything like that, I get really bad heartburn. My body can't handle it anymore. And I used to be able to all the time. So you're being called to listen to that right now, and really see what fits and try different hats on. Yeah. And as well, you may be somebody in this new phase of your life that processes your emotions very openly, whereas in the past you push them down. So certain feelings that made you feel uncomfortable, maybe standing your ground with somebody, or feeling a little bit frustrated. Maybe you told yourself in the past, I can't feel this, and you buried it down, whereas now it's coming up, and Spirit's saying, don't push that down. That's something you're here to feel. Let that come out. You let yourself feel that. I'm not saying go shout at someone, but just allow yourself to feel that frustration and let it pass. Because there's something uncomfortable, but it's because you haven't worn it before. It's a hat that you're putting on that you haven't worn before, and the reason it's uncomfortable is you haven't tailored it to you first. You know, when you get a new set of clothes, but it doesn't quite fit, so then you've got to tailor it to fit you. That's what's happening right now. You're in a demo mode. You're in a learning mode as you come out of this cave. What do I like? What do I dislike? What can I not tolerate? What are my boundaries? What's my aesthetic? We have a mountain goat. There's something out of balance in your life, so do whatever you need to do to correct it. Yeah, you're being called to really, really focus on you right now. Any feelings coming up, because some of you guys may be trying to go back to old habits that fit you in that old phase of your life, but don't know. You guys may have been someone that really pushed to, physically work out, whereas now your body's calling you to be slower. Maybe do things that are less physically draining right now and do something that's more easier on your body. Again, with foods, you may have been able to hold, if you've been doing inner work to connect with your spiritual gifts, you may have found that heavier foods like breads and meats may have been really easy to eat, whereas now they may be giving you migraines and making you feel very fatigued. Whatever the case, it could be sugar, that's another one. You could be sensitive to certain things. You're being called to listen to yourself right now. You're getting to know yourself again. And I'm being told to tell you to not let anyone imprint you on this time. This time's about you. Similar to pile 1, I think it was. Or 3, I don't know. Was it? I think it was 1. Roadrunner, keep your sense of humor and don't take things so seriously. Yeah, there's a message for you guys to take your time. If you F up right now, you F up. If you wear something and, you have a little bit of a makeup disaster right now or a hair disaster right now, it's time to be a little bit carefree and just try things out. You know what I mean? Changing your hair like that, changing your clothes, trying out new things, letting yourself mess up if you need to, because that's the phase that you're in right now. You're seeing what fits for you right now. The back of the deck's the camel. Trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. It feels like you're building yourself up after an ego death, and it's a very beautiful feeling. It's scary when you first come out. You're like, what's going on? Who am I? I don't know who I am. Maybe going through your first house perfection year. But then you get to a point where you start finding all these new parts of you. And honestly, guys, it literally feels like you're coming home. It's such a beautiful feeling. It's a blissful feeling. Opening up to those new parts of yourself. And you may find that you'll open up to new spiritual gifts, you know what I mean? And new ideas in your career. And, you may look at life so much more deeper now. You may even want to go back to something that you've already studied or worked on and perfect it more because you see it deeper now. Right now is the time to ponder and wonder and let yourself walk down Wonderland and just, let everything come to you when it needs to. Try out new colours. Paint with all the colours of the wind. I'm hearing the book on this song. Pile number 4. I was going to say pole. I don't know if somebody's thinking about taking up pole dancing. My older sister used to do that a lot when she had her first baby. And she enjoyed herself a lot. Pile number 4. We have Father Sky, trust in the unknown. Yeah, maybe in the past you were used to kind of rigid routines where Spirit's like, no, just let it flow. Let everything flow right now. Don't have like a set particular goal. Just try out new things right now. Get to know yourself right now. Take yourself out to eat. See how you feel around people right now. It's time to play and get used to where you're at right now. It's like you're stretching your legs at being in a position for so long. That's how it feels. It's like when a baby learns to walk for the first time. Let me grab your card. We have Oracle, wait for important information. Yeah, and that's the thing. When we walk on that journey then and we don't have a set direction in mind and we're just learning about ourselves, there's a quote by Rumi and it's like, when you walk on the way appears. So it's like you're being called to walk out of this tunnel right now, keep walking your path, and certain pathways are going to open up to you, and certain feelings are going to emerge from you, and certain ideas are just going to come to you. You're going to get certain downloads of where to go, but you need to take that jump now of stepping out of that cocoon and being open to it. I have that post on my Instagram. I wrote something underneath it, but it was years ago, and I was back in 2017. But that was the quote: when you walk on the way appears. And that's a message right now. You're being called not to fixate and just flow right now. Enjoy yourself right now. Be open to all uncomfortability, pleasure, happiness, fun. Be open to it all right now. It's like you're in demo mode. The back of the deck, we have love and let yourself be loved. You're also working on, because I was picking up connections at the beginning of the reading, working on feeling comfortable expressing certain emotions that you've never felt comfortable with, as well as pouring into you in ways that maybe you never felt that you were supposed to before. Being open to being vulnerable, but being trusting in yourself to have certain boundaries with people. There's a lot of that coming in. It's like I'm testing what I've learned, but opening up to the new at the same time. And that's where you're at. And I think it's when you look back at this particular period that you're stepping into, because it does feel like a spring period. It's very on theme for this part of, you know, my side of the collaboration. You're going to look back at this time and be like, oh, I missed that time. That was a really fun and carefree time. And that's what you're going to be looking back at this time period as. But right now it's just a little bit confusing as you're coming out of the cocoon, because I'm hearing someone like, no, I'm still a caterpillar. And Spirit's like, you've got these huge bright colored wings, what are you talking about? And you're like, nope, I'm a caterpillar. And like trying to tuck your wings under and move like a worm, like a caterpillar. And Spirit's like, I can still see your wings, you're a butterfly now. But that's how it's coming through. But Spirit's kind of sitting back and just allowing you to come out in your own time. But know you've got a lot of beauty and fun that is awaiting you, pal, and before. So that's what I have for you, pal, 4. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. The links to Tay, Elisa, and Odessa's channels are going to be in my description box for you guys to watch their sides of the collaboration as well. I will have the elements they're doing next to their names, so you guys can click there if you're being called to certain elements first. But yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.